And we welcome you into the Handycast for Monday, September the 16th. Thank you for being with us today. I'm Charles Hanagriff, along with former Tiger Richard Dickson. We're brought to you by Marucci Sports and Marucci.com, founded and operated by current and former big leaguers dedicated to quality and committed to providing athletes at every level with the tools they can't be without to be successful. Of course, the baseball and fast pitch softball gloves and batting gloves, training bats and tees, the baseball, softballs, helmets, bat and glove care accessories, and, of course, the world-famous bats, the wood, the custom pro bats, the training bats, the souvenir bats, BB Core, USSSA, and T-ball, fast pitch softball bats as well. Great company and expanding their retail section. So for more information, go to MarucciSports.com. Rich, LSU pulls us out 36-33. And a game that LSU fell behind 17-0, a game that saw a very key injury on the side of South Carolina with the quarterback going out. Lenore Sanders was a difference maker in the first half, but LSU also hung in there. They made some plays. They didn't get flustered, down 17. They fought their way back into the game. The quarterback in particular took, I thought, more hits than he has at any time, and stood in there and let a game-winning drive, what turned out to be a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter on the road in front of a hostile crowd. So there's a lot to take from this. So what, after you've had a couple of days to digest now, what do you take?
Well, I've definitely calmed down a lot.
You always say that on Mondays.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a heat of passion deal during the game.
Right.
Everything, you're not going back. You're going first glance, not going back and looking at it. But there's a lot of things from the outside that are really positive. I mean, going down 0-17 on the road in the SEC is never an easy feat to come back from. The composure of this team, it shows the mentality of this team. These guys didn't want to quit. They kept staying in the game. So it shows the character of this team, really. This character is strong. These guys aren't giving up on each other. They're staying in it. Nussmeier coming down with a drive late in the game to go 50 yards and score to take the lead. There's a lot of things that you see that's just a positive aspect of the character.
So we're gonna dive into the film here in a few minutes, but the long runs. Nichols had one long run. South Carolina had two long runs. It appeared, at least after we watched it the first time, that LSU's offensive line got beaten up pretty good. Maybe not quite as bad as we thought after a second watch, and we're going to get into the whys of that. Some special teams problems that they had. So there's a lot of stuff to clean up here. Yeah,
but there's a lot of good things too. I mean, I think when I went back and watched it again, you remember all the negative things, going into post game, and those are the things that are eating you up. But you'll have 8 great plays, and then we have 2 guys make a bad decision, make a bad run fit, and then these big runs pop out, and that's what's glaring to you. But there's a lot of fixable things. I mean, this defense really is playing good. They're playing really creative with their fronts and getting into different situations. And if just everybody can clean up, their job and get back to what we keep saying, play 1/11 of the defense, they're right there to make the big play.
One of the big positives took out of this game is Caden Durham really emerged.
Difference maker.
Yeah.
He's the guy that really opened up this offense in the second half. He played with great vision, great technique. He pressed the hole, created open lanes for himself, and then he was able to use his speed to get around. And once he got going in the run game, it opened up a lot of things in the passing game. Those linebackers really started having to fly down.
That to me was one of the big positives. Another big positive is we noticed Harold Perkins in this game, and he, as a pass rusher, he makes a difference, and he was more disruptive in this game.
He draws a lot of attention. I mean, guys have to go show up for him. When he gets one-on-one with a running back, he gets by him. He made a lot of plays in this game, or he made a lot of plays happen. He didn't get the stat, but other guys were able to reap the benefits of, and it's coming because there was a couple more big plays he could have made.
Braden Swinson, SEC Defensive Player of the Week, he was another disruptor. I thought it was his best game, and they were able to get him loose, and he really put some pressure on South Carolina second half.
No doubt. He played with his hair on fire all night, 110% effort. He was really giving those guys problems trying to block him up, and his second effort on a lot of these plays is where he really got home and made disruption.
They started flat. Again, we're going to start the film here in a second, but a listener pointed this out to me during the post game. I didn't realize this. It's the 9th time that they have started in 2 years and 3 games under Brian Kelly down double digits. And, once is a fluke, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a trend. I don't know what 9 times is, but it ain't good.
Yeah.
And I wonder why that has been a recurring. Look, sometimes you just have a busted play. The one that came out to me was the Tennessee game 2 years ago. Okay, they fumbled a kickoff. Tennessee punched it in. They got a big play after that. Okay, bummer. But 9 times is too many to ignore.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is, not capitalizing on those red zone opportunities. You're driving the field early on. Against USC, we drove down the field, didn't get points. In this game, we drove down, didn't get points. There's a lot of times that, just not capitalizing, going for the home run, getting the touchdown instead of settling for a field goal, which you listen to all the other shows. I'm usually with it as a player, but it does open up once you get that stop and they go down and score, you start to get behind.
That was, that opening drive has been a real problem for LSU, as we're about to see. They deferred and went on defense. We'll start here in a second. We are brought to you by Bayou Apparel, helping local businesses communicate their message since 2009. It's one of only a few local LSU official licensees. Bayou Apparel offers the highest quality products to showcase your brand, whether you've got an established one or a new one. Bayou Apparel design experts can help you create eye-catching designs that fit your company's message. They do logos, event T-shirts, and promotional items for your business. Call 225-928-9090 or go to the website at bayouapparel.com. If you're watching the Handycast here, we encourage you to subscribe, and we do this every week. So let's get going. They deferred to the second half, which is not something that they've always done, and South Carolina got the ball for a great atmosphere in Columbia with game day being there unexpectedly to be there. And
told you, that's always a great atmosphere there.
Here's the first play, and that is Harold Perkins missing a tackle out in space. And, Rich, let's stop it right there. Harold Perkins, as a freshman, looked like he was making a lot of these open field tackles. But you pointed out on the post game, it was really more a chase situation and a one-on-one situation, which is why I was a little bit nervous about the star. He struggles to break down and make one-on-one tackles.
Yeah, when you kept talking about it early on, a lot of the times he's so athletic and so fast, chasing somebody down from behind, he doesn't have to worry about that shifty move. But it seems like you watch here.
I want to back it up and take a look at that again, because you can maybe
it's
take
a great
look
call. Everybody is where they're supposed to be. They block the gaps. They leave the guy wide open. Harold's got to make this play. You stop right there, and at first you go down 2nd and 10. It sets a different momentum for the defense. But right now, you get a lot of negative feeling.
Sanders hit the slant here, and that puts South Carolina 2 plays right in LSU territory.
Yeah, and we don't play trail very well right here.
Here's another. This is Rocky Sanders pushing it down to the LSU 30 in his opening drive. LSU looks flat here, and South Carolina's going like nobody's been. That's a big hole on the left side. We're going to go back and look at that again.
Go back and look at that one, because we had a blitz called on there where we had guys slanting. You got Weeks coming into the gap. And this is just a young defensive tackle, Bro. If you look right here, everybody's slanting. When Bro cannot be reached by the center, you got Weeks hitting the B gap. You got Relaford keeping the edge. Bro right here has to stay with contain. He's got to get his hat on the outside. He can't allow the center to reach him. If he does that, he doesn't necessarily make the play, but he slows it down long enough for Penn to scrape across the top and hit him for a short yardage situation.
This is one of 5 defensive starters that were different from the opener in Ahmad Bro.
And this is when we're talking about the defense. There's a great play call right there, but you can't be reached by the center. You got to stay with gap integrity, squeeze it down. Like I said, he's not going to necessarily make the play, but he slows it down long enough for help to come.
So you got a 1st and goal. You're less than 3 minutes into the game. And here's a quarterback. He's going to hit the edge and just get in there for the touchdown.
He didn't. That's another one where he kind of hung in there on the inside just to trick the defense to kind of jump, move in a little bit closer, and he bounces it outside.
We'll take a look at this one again. All right. Tell me the formation here. What are we looking at?
Right now, you're really right here. You're setting the edge with Relaford, and he does a good job. But as a young player, he sees, you have a quarterback make a very savvy move with the dip on the inside. Relaford tries to jump on the inside and loses contain. Weeks, they both kind of all slide in there thinking it's going to be inside, and they hook him, get the edge, and makes a good play. So if Relaford's got to stop right there. If he stops, he's got it kind of busted to where Witt can make the play. But he kind of peeks his head on the inside and loses that edge, and, what's his name? Sellers is pretty fast.
Pretty big, too. He's about 240 pounds, and there's a touchdown that puts them up 7-0. Very, very early in this game. So you come out, couple of missed assignments here on the open.
It's
South
bad
Carolina
technique. Guys that are trying to, when we say trying to do too much, don't jump on the inside when you're a contained player.
Here you see the replay again. Here he stretches out, keeps his feet, and gets into the end zone. All right, this is after LSU goes 3 and out. South Carolina gets the ball their own 42-yard line. The 3rd and 1 play was something that LSU's had a problem with. The 3rd and 1, they don't get off they don't extend the drive. You got a stat: the 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 3s that they've had 16 of them so far this year.
Split equally, 8 rushes, 8 passes. On our 8 runs in a 3rd and short situation, we're averaging 1 yard and 3/4 a carry. Out of 8, we have 2 first downs. When you go to the passing side, out of 8 attempts, we have 5 first downs. So it seems like we're way better off in a passing the ball in short yardage.
You got to balance a run pass balance, but you don't have success with the balance.
No, and that's where it's just frustrating. And when we talked about the O-line issues, is just not getting a good push. I mean, you get 8 carries and you're averaging 1.7 yards a carry. That's not something for success in short yardage.
All right, so this drive starts up at the 42-yard line, and he's going to go deep down that sideline, and you're going to get the pass interference here.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Snamp's got to get his head around and make it look like he's playing an attempt for the ball.
Now another swing out here. Rocket picks up the first down. They get a little bit of a advantageous bounce here.
That's happened to us quite a bit this year. We've knocked a lot of balls out that have happened to get recovered by the offense.
Here's Alexander running one down on a play by Sanders, and runs into the shrubbery there. But he gets the interception, and maybe you can tell us what we're looking at here.
No, this is big. He plays great man coverage. Looks like a receiver. Really has good ball skills. And if you go back and look at the side, we do some twist right here, get in his face, makes him have to get rid of the ball sooner. Probably if he has another second, doesn't make that throw.
Let's go back and look at the end zone replay again with the stunt here that you're talking about.
We got really creative in this game with a lot of twist and a lot of different packages bringing heat.
Show me what we got. Show me what we're talking about.
You're going to have the guy looper around the side. You have 2 guys playing to the outside right here. This A gap is going to get freed up, and Swinson. This is another play that doesn't really record a stat for Swinson, but he makes a play right here.
You get a hand up in the face. I believe that was
Swinson.
That was Swinson. Yeah. Okay, this is the second drive that starts for LSU at their own 20, and we're about to see one of now this call that we're about to see, and I think it was on. This is the first play. This is going to be the pick six that gets called back for the horse collar. Nussmeier had some time. The throw is picked, and South Carolina's going to take it back. But this is a new rule this year. The horse collar in the backfield is now a rule. And here, this is
when he has a hand on him right there. Look, I know he's trying to make a play, but I want him to tuck the ball. I mean, that's a dangerous situation. His eyes are gone. He doesn't know where he's throwing. That's something he's got to learn to pull down.
He had some time at the beginning of this play, and then they end up. All right, so LSU gets the first down out of that. Here's a ball to Anderson, who had Aaron Anderson had a nice day.
Oh, he made some great plays. He was really a difference maker in our offense.
And here's Nussmeier going backwards, being sacked all the way back to make it a long yardage to go situation. And then South Carolina get the ball back with the lead here, and this is their third drive of the game. And they get another flag, 13 flags on South Carolina in the course of this game. Some of them may be a little bit sketchy.
Yeah,
but other ones, were warranted. All right, this is the disconcerting signals. All right, they're giving.
Kelly gave it a good response to that.
All right, so here you see him coming down the sideline. He wants a reason for it, and he told us at lunch today what the reason was. So let's see if we can pick up the clap wherever it is here.
You see it with Penn.
He
doesn't necessarily clap. He slaps his thigh pads,
which is enough. Okay, so here's the rule is that you cannot simulate the snap count, and if the snap count is on a clap, if you clap on defense, which I don't know, man, that's kind of instinctive. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a frustrating
you guys got to train yourself not to do
Especially
that.
Especially in a loud environment like that.
Yeah.
You're trying to get their attention, trying to make a loud noise. Your instinct is to clap or slap something, but Like the rule's the rule, and you got to come up with something different in these situations.
Again, the rule is to keep the defensive lineman from going up there and said hut. Okay.
Yeah.
I was worried that they weren't getting that their interpretation of the rules was something different from the officials. It was not.
No. And the second one you really see it's pretty obvious with Savion. He does a really dramatic arm movement, which gets him the call.
Arm movement. Okay, that's the other one because defensive linemen are allowed to move.
Yeah,
that's always been part of it. But if you and this one I did the clapping part I knew.
Yeah.
The part about the arms waving I really wasn't aware of. So if you
it has to be a natural movement.
What's natural for?
Well, natural. When you think about it, when you're sliding,
yeah.
your arms don't flail like you're running.
Right.
So when you go back and watch it, he goes sideways but pumps his arms like he's running forward.
Natural moves aren't the same for everybody.
No,
I mean, they're professional dancers that have very natural moves for them that I couldn't do if I wanted to. All right, so let's assume that they got that fixed. So this moves the ball into LSU territory, and here's Sellers again with another effective run. And you get the face mask on LSU.
He did a really good job of selling an inside run, making our guys cave in, and then bouncing them outside.
This one bothered me a little bit because I remembered this is a 3rd down and 2 where LSU meets Rocket Sanders in the hole, and he just pushes straight through them. And when LSU had the 3rd and 1, like you said, they are not they're not confident in their ability to run the football. We're
not falling forward, and that's the biggest thing. These guys, Rocket Sanders, a big, strong guy. He takes on that initial contact and gets the push.
All right, I want to. Is the technique good here? And it's, Rocket just this fast or whatever. It's just 3rd down and 2 from the 16-yard line, and they're just going to basically. This is a power run. This is right up your alley, man. You guys made a living at this.
Let it go. I think Weeks got to bring it a little bit faster right there. He kind of gets I think he gets nervous with Sellers pulling the ball right there. He's watching him. He's kind of waiting to see what Sellers does, and he gets on his heels and allows that guy to deliver the blow.
So you get the quarter change. You go down to the other side of the field. South Carolina is going to come up short for the touchdown here and settle for a field goal.
And here Stamps gets a good pass breakup right there. And that's something he's got to continue to do because he plays with pretty good coverage on a lot of the slant routes that he just doesn't get his hands in there. They complete, but you're starting to see him use his hands better.
Short field goal makes it 10-0. This is early in the second quarter. LSU gets the ball back. They do pick up a first, and they get a late hit here on South Carolina. Nussmeier rolls to his right. This is downfield, and that's for C.J. Daniels.
C.J. is making some plays. He's got to be a bigger part of this offense because he gets open a lot.
And there you see the late hit on South Carolina on Nussmeier, moves the ball in the Gamecock territory down at the 47-yard line. And here you're going to see a play that you don't see very often in this manner, which is the intentional grounding on Nussmeier. He's straight back. He's still trying back. They're trying to set up the middle screen here, and it never develops. And a lot of times you'll see, Rich, a quarterback, when he knows that the defense has got the screen sniffed out, he'll throw it right at the feet.
Yeah, he panicked. He didn't realize. I know he realized, but the screen was slipping out to the right. He's got to get it in the vicinity of the running back. I think he just made a panic move and went ahead and ditched the ball.
Okay, so this is lost it down. You're going to spot it back here. And here comes the block punt. Now, LSU's going to send this to the league on a leverage. In fact, they've already got their answer back. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But they're going to get, by the time you watch this, it'll probably be public what the league said, which is either the play is legal or the play was illegal. We're sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
but what I want to talk about is how close the punter is to the protection guys here, and we can go through this play.
I feel like this is kind of on the punter. I went back and watched it. You just typically don't see him punting a yard off the shield. You got to have, it's usually a 2 to 3 yard difference. I felt like the punter kind of creeped a little bit on this one and hit it too close.
All right, so let's go back to the alignment. The alignment is correct, right? The shield is where it's supposed to be. He takes like
a hop step.
I
think it gets him out of his rhythm and he gets a little too close to the shield.
So this punt block sets him up down. LSU's actually lucky they didn't score here. It's a good job by Todd to get tangled up with the guy, and they get the first play. from the 10-yard line, and this is Rocket Sanders. Okay, here we get a better look at it.
I mean, hell of an effort right there. I mean,
it is, except maybe it's illegal when you land on the guy.
Yeah.
That's a safety thing.
I'm not sure because I feel like I see that a lot in shield-type punts.
You see it more called on placement, on field goals and extra points. If you land on somebody, if you leverage somebody, Lord knows we know the rule from the 2004 Auburn game and Ronnie Prude. They called it twice the whole year, but one of them cost LSU a game down on the Plains. And this is probably where I started to get a little bit aggravated because this is pure will from Sanders, and at this point, I'm going, all right, are you guys really in the game?
Before
this is
you
first
play right here.
Go ahead.
This is a very smart move by the receiver. We're in man coverage, and I told you early on against the Arkansas game, maybe it was Jamar Chase, when he had an inside block, didn't realize it was man coverage. He's got to kind of run with him. He does a really good job of going up inside the
You're talking about the far side receiver.
The far side receiver. 14's got to make a better play right here because when he comes down, Perkins gets washed, and we know that he's not been great with getting blockers off of him. We've talked about guards. This is a receiver. He's got to make a better play here, but 14's got to replace.
All right, let's see here. Here's a play. Not a great snap. Sanders makes a jump cut, breaks one tackle.
35 misses a tackle, but you can't let a receiver take away two players.
And that's wow. And again, this is why we come back and do this. He's going to – wow. Okay. You saw it there. He's just coming on an inside
He's just coming
move.
on the inside of block. 14's got to realize that and replace where he came from.
That makes it 17-0, and
that's another one of those plays that were right there to make a play. The defensive call was good. It's got to be executed better.
You're not 18 minutes into the game and you're down 17-0. How you feel right about now?
Oh, not good at all. This is 17-0 on the road in the SEC. This is where I give this team a lot of credit. They kept fighting and they kept playing, fought their way back because it's tough when you get down in that big of a hole.
This is a crucial drive that LSU answers with. We'll tell you about, we'll let you play for a second here. We'll tell you they're brought to you by Dana Brown, the law offices of O.C. Brown. We've known Dana for a long time. The law office of O.C. Brown, he's carried on his father's name for the last 30 years. So whether you've been in a car accident or made a mistake and broke the law office of O.C. Brown should be your first and only call. Truly your law firm for a lifetime. Call them at 225-343-1111. On the web, it's O.C. Brown, O-S-S-I-E Brown.com. All right, so early in this drive, he's going to get Mason Taylor, and this is going to get LSU moving. Nussmeier to Taylor, and that's going to move the ball up to the 45-yard line.
And that was great pass blocking. He had all the time he needed. Everybody held their blocks, and Nussmeier makes a good decision with the ball.
Now they're going to get Xavier Thomas involved in the run game here.
That was my favorite play call. That was very interesting. We've talked about what he does with the ball in his hands. He's very physical. It was just a great design. Great block.
All right, tell me why you like this design. We're going to go back it up and look at the formation here and the design of this play.
He gets the flow coming with the motion, and we haven't seen him getting the ball up on the inside. It's a different look for them deciphering. They're looking for running back or pass play off of this. When he comes back by, they don't see the lane, and I think the offensive line also sealed it off really well.
All right, let's watch here as it goes across. You're going to pull Frazier, and he's going to get a good kick-out block on the far side.
And he gets a lead blocker from Mason Taylor. Makes one guy miss and just keeps going. It was a great, tough run.
All right, so now we're going to get Josh Williams. He's going to run for a first down. That'll move the sticks down there.
Yeah, and that's one I think that, could have been busted for a big play. I mean, Josh Williams kind of dicks his head in there. I want to see him press that hole and bounce it outside because that play could have gone for big.
You want to look at this again?
Yeah, and this one, what Durham did really well in the game, and this what made the difference. You see,
all right, this was a second down and 1.
It gets sealed down really well. You got a kick-out block with 66. He's one-on-one. If he presses that hole, he's one-on-one with the linebacker.
You talked about this. We don't have we don't have time to go through the entire game, but we thought coming out of going into post game that they had really South Carolina kind of dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
After you watched the film, you didn't think it was quite as bad as
it wasn't as bad as we thought. Well, in post game, all the negative plays is in my head. It's everything that stands out. When you go back and watch, there was really good run fits on certain plays. This could have been a lot bigger play. I think Josh has to use a little bit better vision.
All right, let's see. Right
there, it's sealed. I want him to press that. You got a whole
right here.
Yes.
Right here.
He's got to put his foot in the ground and hit that gap where he's one-on-one with the linebacker.
We like Williams. He's a hard worker. He's a great kid, and we love the story. But Durham has an extra gear. He's got a little bit of vision. He's got a little bit more power. He's got just a little bit more explosion.
When we go on with this film, you'll see a very similar situation. Looks just like this, where Durham presses it, and then he bounces out and hits that outside cut.
This next play we're going to look at, I thought, was one of the key plays of the ball game to keep LSU in it. This is 3rd down and 9 from the South Carolina 26-yard line. 8:21 to go in the first half. And LSU's down 17-0. Rich, this is a gutsy call.
No one in the stadium, no one on their couch saw a run play coming here.
If this doesn't work, okay, if this makes 2 yards, okay, and they're looking at 4th down and 7, Brian Kelly's in a real bind at this point because he's got to decide if he wants to try a 43, 45-yard field goal, whatever, and you're still down 2 touchdowns, or worse yet, if you go for it and have to go for it on 4th down and miss, or you kick the field goal and you miss, it's all of the momentum that you have built here is going to go away. And I say momentum, it's a small bit of momentum. You're down 17-0. I thought this was gutsy call by Joe Sloan, and it worked.
It was very gutsy because to me it comes off as you're playing for the field goal. But when you make a big play and hit it for a home run,
nobody wants to see you playing for the field goal down 17. Yeah. All right, so let's watch the play for the first time here. Taylor coming across the formation, and Durham right up the
hard run. He'd break so many tackles. He really ran at a different pace than guys we've seen so far this year.
We're going to go back and watch the block again. And I don't know that it was one block that sprung him or if he was just –
It was good block and great vision. I mean, the way he uses his eyes on that, and I don't think that they end up showing it from the end zone.
We're going to go back and take a look at it from the front side. Again, all right, let's talk about what they're trying to get accomplished
He's getting
here.
Down blocks and a kick out. And
Taylor's a kick out.
Yeah, Taylor's a kick out. What he does really well is he presses the hole and then when he sees a gap, he puts his foot down and goes. You saw him right here. He pressed the hole to here. He sees the 2 kickouts and he cuts and goes. I mean, he's quick with his foot. The way he makes a decision, decisive move, and gets vertical.
This is two plays on the same drive that 2 different backs have made, and one makes 2 yards. The other one makes 26 yards.
And they're very similar in the fact that where Williams stayed up the middle, he never pressed it and then pushed out, where Durham cuts it up and makes a big play. And just a physical run. He breaks 1 tackle there, keeps his balance. Looks like an elite play.
Well, and the other thing about that, about Durham is, and he played, everybody said, well, why hadn't this guy been playing? He did play against Nichols. He had 5 carries for 4 yards.
Yeah.
When there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to run. But he was a track guy. He was a sprint champion in Texas. And ordinarily, the sprint guys don't run with what you would call great power. They don't move piles. Later in this game, he really, I thought, ran with great power in addition to the burst that you see because of the great speed.
Yeah, and I think, going back to what you're saying, a lot of people think of speed guys on the outside. I think that's what the coaches thought in the Nichols game too, because the only options they were giving him were outside runs, little pitches, trying to get him on the corner, and they were getting hit in the backfield. Here they sold out and they said, you're going to run our run game, and you're going to run the in between the tackles, and they let him really grow from there.
So really gutsy call and a great play by Durham. So LSU's within 10 here. This is the ensuing drive for South Carolina. Get a little swing pass. There's another missed tackle on Weeks. Now you get go ahead.
No, just the missed tackles. There's a lot of times where we could have made these plays and made short yardage and keep putting yourself in good situations, but we got to make tackles there.
This is a 3rd down and 12 from their own 34-yard line. If you're watching along if you're listening with us, we'll try to describe this for you, but if you're watching along with us, they have circled Harold Perkins, and he comes on a blitz. See, I got it underlined and and all that stuff in my notes because this is what we want to see Harold Perkins do.
You get 7 one-on-one with a running back, he's going to make a miss and make the play. And he doesn't necessarily get the tackle here, but he eats up enough time to where 3 can come around on the blitz and make the good hit for the fumble. What you see, I guess if you bounce it back, Swinson did a lot of things. I mean, he's not only coming back, but he's dropping to zone coverage right there. And that's where his eyes were going. Just by Swinson getting there and getting in the guy's vision, and it also slows up his read.
I'm going to go back to there's a missed tackle again, and now we're going to watch this play. All right, tell me where everybody's at.
Swinson is line up off the edge. He's been disruptive in the backfield. Well, everybody's looking here. Swinson's dropping to zone coverage. You got the safety coming down from the outside, and Perkins one-on-one with the running back.
So this is a play where he's not coming off the edge. It's right, edge, and I raise my hand. But this is him blitzing from further inside the box, but he's just as disruptive. Like you said, this doesn't show up in the box score necessarily, but it does allow Ryan to come in and make the play.
Pull the ball down.
Yeah. We'll see it go through here. You're trying to block him with a running back. He makes an elusive sidestep there. And now you got two players on Sellers before he can, really make a move at all. Ball comes out.
One of these balls are going to come out. We're going to take it to the house. We've been so close on a couple of these.
There have been a couple that you take. There you see Ryan making the hit. Ball comes out. LSU is going to end up turning this drive into a field goal because they get a holding penalty later on in this drive. This is the 3rd down and 3. Nussmeier flushed out of the pocket. He's going to throw for the end zone. It was out of bounds, but you're going to get a holding penalty anyway. Let me go back and take a look at this again, Rich, because you talked about the third. This is a 3rd and short, 3rd down and 3, and before Nussmeier is flushed. Let's take a look at where the pressure came from and where the holding call came. All right, let's stop it here. You got 5 receivers in the pattern here. I believe this is 3rd down and 3 from the South Carolina 11. We're down inside of 5 minutes of first half.
Yeah, this is on the O-line right here. This is not one of their best reps. You got 4 versus 5, and they can't get home right here.
Now
they don't get home, but they collapse the pocket. Nuss does a hell of a job stepping up and escaping. Got to make a better throw, but that's a tough throw under pressure.
Did he have enough time to get rid of the football first? Because now you see this. Okay, Emory Jones didn't have maybe as rough a day as Campbell did, but you're seeing the pressure come here, and this is what flushes Nussmeier out of the pocket. Now he escapes, and
he had the guy. He got to make a little bit better throw right there, but it's a tough throw.
Okay. The short field goal is 28 yards. This makes it 17-10 with 4.5 minutes to go. Okay, here we go. 75-yard touchdown from Lenore Sellers. So let's just go ahead and set this up right here.
You do a jet sweep motion right here. We're bringing Perkins off the side, and they got to play with better technique. If Perkins coming off the side, the guys are going to be slanting to the inside gap because everybody's going to fill it up. But your linebackers overflow so hard here with the jet sweep motion that they get sealed off.
This is not going to be pretty to watch here, but you see Sellers. He makes a move on the safety, and he's
Penn
gone.
gets out of position. Penn gets way too over-reading on the jet sweep motion. But this is where the problem is that I haven't really figured out, and I haven't seen the All-22 film, is the safeties are never in position to help. Your safety's supposed to stop the home run hit. If it's getting to the safeties, it's a bad play already, but they're never there to stop it from the home run.
It reminded me a little bit of that play that Jordan Jefferson ran against Tennessee. I think it was the very first play from scrimmage, and he housed it 75 yards.
Jet sweep motion is, it does its job, but you still got to play it better. You got to read and react.
So that makes it 24-10. They restore the 14-point lead. Now LSU gets the football back on their own 25-yard line to get a negative play on first down. I thought this was another crucial drive, Rich, because if LSU goes in there down 24-10, all the momentum's with South Carolina. So I thought they did a nice job on this drive to kind of seize a little bit of the momentum back. And there you see a pass over the middle of C.J. Daniels again.
Yeah, another good pocket. Nussmeier stayed in there, made a good throw. We just got to stay on rhythm.
Another good pocket there and another dart down the middle. They're not afraid to throw the football between the numbers. Nussmeier to Daniels again. He breaks a couple of tackles, gets them down inside the 20-yard line. And now on 2nd down and 6, you see him pull it back. and hit Lacey for the touchdown. That makes it 24-16.
And that's what happens. The series before that, we started busting some long runs, getting good in the run game. We run that play action. The linebackers fly up, allow Lacey to get behind them.
All right, here's here's another special teams problem. I don't know that this is on anything other than the center just made a bad snap.
Yeah, it's his first one. I guess Brian Kelly talked about it in the post game. He's been the deep snapper for 3 years. This is his first bad snap.
LSU has given scholarships to long snappers now for about the last 10 years. This is kind of akin to having extra insurance. Do you want supplemental insurance to go with that? You don't have to buy it, but you notice it if you don't have it. When you never have a bad snap, you're like, okay, this is worth using a scholarship on. We're going to let Roy have one bad snap.
Yeah, and you just want to see, he's got to be mentally strong because you don't ever think about having a bad snap till you have one.
Yeah, so not the best, but so down 24-16, South Carolina with one more shot, and they get the long pass here.
It's just I hadn't seen 12 play a lot, but it's another one of those plays where not necessarily a bad. That's where he hurts his ankle. We weren't in bad coverage. We're just not making the play.
This the sack on Sellers made him the ankle injury made him ineffective in the second half. He went in for one. We'll show it in the second half, but that was in retrospect. I think if Sellers plays in the second half, LSU's got a very, very hard time winning this game.
Yeah, because the threat he has was pulling the ball, and once he hurt that ankle, you see it later on that he's not trying to run the ball anymore, and the whole line can sell out.
The last play of the first half, they don't get the Hail Mary off, and they go to the break. They go to break down 24-16. We're brought to you by Lake Urgent Care. 25 years of experience dedicated to providing quality care close to home. They treat minor illnesses and injuries for ages 3 months and up. 17 convenient locations: Baton Rouge, Hammond, Livingston, and Ascension Parish. Plus, they offer occupational health and weight loss solutions. Seamless extension of Our Lady of the Lake. Patients can access care from anywhere with the My Client Patient portal. Urgent care centers are open 7 days a week. Simply walk in, check in online, or you can schedule a virtual care visit at lakeurgentcare.com. Well, we're at halftime. LSU, who was down 16, is now only down 8, and you get the ball to start the second half. How do you feel at this point?
This is you're still in a one-score game. We're one touchdown and the 2-point conversion from being tied up. Feel a lot better than I did down 17-0. So we're still in a decent spot. We're still in a spot where you feel confident that you can make up. But, you got to do something with this first drive. This is Caleb Jackson's best run. He really pressed the hole, bounced it outside. And
it's the first time we've seen him really explode,
yeah.
I thought. Now here we're gonna go back and look at this play again. This is a long pass to Aaron Anderson down the right sideline. But Rich, we
got lucky to get this one off.
Yeah, the pressure's coming from the backside, and this is Kennard, who, man, he had a day. All right, take me through Will Campbell here, because Campbell against Kennard was kind of one of the matchups of the day.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know if it's in film review or something that they had a plan with. They beat Campbell inside a good bit. Campbell's getting good depth. He's in good position, but he oversteps, gets waiting for the guy to come around the end, and Kennard does a great speed move to get on the inside of him.
He does make a little move here. Okay, let me ask this about where Caleb Jackson is on this play, because every time we ask about Caleb Jackson's playing time, we always hear about pass blocking. So is he supposed to help here if Kennard comes inside, because he releases?
Yeah, so he's looking outside in.
All right, you see where he is right here in the middle. Is he supposed to be providing help here on the inside?
He should be chipping right here. It's one of his reads. Come back. He doesn't have a blitzer. Where can I help? If he chips him right here and then gets out on his route, we could go bigger.
All right, Nussmeier gets hit as he throws, and throws a dime down there to Anderson, who again
beats one-on-one coverage. That's where he's really helped out on the deep game.
Here's Nussmeier throwing to the end zone, and you get the flag. That's again on Anderson, or Anderson's going out, and the pass interference is against South Carolina, trying to cover Anderson. First and goal from the 3.
Nowhere to go.
Okay. Now you're in this T formation. Show me what we're talking about here.
I just don't like it. I mean, this is where we've really struggled getting a push. Look at the amount of hats we got inside the box. We're tackled up. You got a freshman defensive end, which I'm sure they put this in last week trying to get a little bit more power, but this really clutters the hole for him. The push right here, he's almost getting his foot stepped on already. It really just clogs up the hole.
You got 7 on 5 up front, but you got these 5 guys. These 5 guys that are basically they're almost in a diamond formation right at the goal line.
Yeah.
So even if you get a push, they're coming up, and everybody is in there in close.
You get a push and bounce out, but where the center has really struggled is he's getting driven back a lot.
All right, so Williams breaks a tackle there and dumps it inside the 1. They try it again. They come up short. Now this is the 4th down and goal, and you're really going to get pushed back here.
This one, I didn't like all 3 of the runs, but this one right here is another situation where they get shoved up the middle, everybody gets pushed back, and I don't see how you run a play action off it right here because it either 28 makes a bad step or Nuss gets 2, but they almost run into each other. It throws the play off rhythm, and it's just really a ugly play.
While we're at it, if you're going to play pass off of this thing, I'd rather not wait till 4th down to do it.
Yeah,
you lose a little bit of your element of surprise.
I think you go run pass run. I mean, or you mix it up. You don't go 2 runs, you fail. And this play is going to work, but I don't like somebody takes a bad step here. I don't know if Nuss takes a bad step. They almost run into each other.
Well, it's this guy that's right here in front of Jackson that busts up the play. He's the one that is throwing the whole timing off of this thing. So you go down. You got 4 shots from basically the 3, and you don't get in.
That's 2 times you get down there inside the 5 and don't come away with points.
Okay, let's look at what the South Carolina offense looks like differently because Robbie Ashford is now the quarterback. And they got to start from deep in their own territory here at the 4-yard line, and they go 3 and out here. This is the 3rd down and 7. Actually, they punched it out 3 yards from the 1, and a 3rd down and 7 play here, where Ashford is asked to do something that he's not comfortable with, which is a straight drop back.
So
LSU ends up getting, yeah. But they keep the field position. LSU starts at the 45-yard line. Here's another good run.
No, the defense plays really well in the second half. They really stepped it up, and I think a lot to do with Sellers being out. That's another good run by Durham, just pressing the hole and bouncing it outside and getting there with speed.
Here's Taylor. He's going to get down and get LSU a 1st down and goal. So they've kept the field position.
Yeah, I think so that's one of my favorite runs by him. If you see, I wish we had the end zone view on it. He really presses it up to make everybody sell on the inside and uses that 1-cut speed to get on the outside and make a play. So he holds right here. He's going to make the linebackers flow in thinking it, and then right about here he gets a good step out and presses it.
And he's got enough speed to make that work and enough power
He's a strong guy.
to get in. Yeah, he's except for somebody's track guy. track guy's pretty good. So this gets LSU within 2 at 24-22, and they'll go for 2 here. And Nussmeier doesn't have a whole lot of. All right. Let's take a look at this one again. Where's the pressure coming from?
Center guard, somewhere right around here. They get beat if you get hit play.
You're getting pressure on the outside too.
Yeah, but you're going to get pressure on the outside. You fan him. You got to have if he can step up into this gap. He hit probably 2 to get us a 2-point. But we get beat so bad up the middle that he can't step up.
They're trying to run Anderson on that rub again up here,
and it's going to be there. We just somewhere in the center and the right guard. They get blown up.
All right, so 24-22. This next drive is the one that Sellers came in back at quarterback, and you're going to see here where he is just not able to do what he did in the first half. And I'm pretty sure this is the Shan play that we're about to look at here. And
he really goes full sell, knows he's not getting it, makes a play in the backfield. This is when South Carolina said, all right, we're pulling him because he doesn't have that threat to run anymore.
If we look back at this, if they run this play in the first half, then Sellers is gonna pull it. Watch right here. Shand is not even worried about Sellers pulling that ball because if he does, he's got room to run. That's what he did in the first half, but the ankle's not strong enough to go here.
Yeah, I mean, if he pulls that ball at the first down, could be another touchdown with the way he runs. But we were able to sell out on this, knowing that he can't get outside.
I give Shan credit. He knew the player, because if he's playing it honest,
I hope so.
Yeah, if he's playing it honest, which you don't want him to play it honest.
Yeah.
Here's your opportunity to take advantage of what the offense can do. This is going to be Sellers' last play here. Throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage. That's got nowhere to go.
Perkins makes a good play.
All right, LSU back on offense. Nussmeier, this is underneath to Taylor. He broke somebody's record for receptions in this game.
Yeah, he had a good game. Probably could have destroyed it. He broke my 4-year record in 2 seasons and 3 games.
Yeah, but Les Miles was calling the plays when you were there, so it was a little bit tougher. Nussmeier is protected this time, and he goes deep down the far sideline. But it's another flag that's going to come in on South Carolina.
You'd like to see Nuss get rid of that ball a little bit sooner, but
this was a good call. There were some good calls against South Carolina. That was a good call. There were some bad calls against South Carolina.
Yeah,
but we're going to see them later on in the game. Some of the ones that were more egregious.
I like Brian Kelly's response to that this afternoon.
Yeah. All right, here's Durham again.
It's another just tough run. I think, my note on that one was it wasn't necessarily on the offensive line. Go back to that one. I think that's one I'd looked at. Our kick-out blocks get blown up. And I don't know if there was a MA. The guard ends up on the outside guy and the tackle ends up on the inside guy. But there's really nowhere to go. The play's almost blown up in the backfield.
Okay.
So you're going to have Emery and Frazier pulling. What normally you would think would happen right here, Frazier's pulling up around the inside, and the tackle's going to kick out the end. And somewhere or another, Frazier ends up on the end, and Emery gets stuck by the linebacker coming. But Durham just makes a great right there.
Now, they both get a hat on a hat, but it's 2
it's
yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you want to see the guard come up and get on the linebacker and Emery kick out the end, and it's even a bigger play.
And he breaks his tackle, which would have been at the line of scrimmage,
the balance
too.
and the vision on that play should have been stopped in the backfield, but he's able to bounce it.
All right, so LSU still trailing as we go to the fourth quarter here. It's 24-22. Third down and goal. Again, this is another third down and short. It's inside the 3-yard line.
The difference here is we've been running the ball really well, and if you watch the linebackers on this, I love this play. I've scored a couple touchdowns on it. You saw heavy run to the right and let the tight end slip out of the back.
Taylor with the touchdown.
But you're coming off of Durham really getting going. And when they start faking the handoff to that side, the linebackers flow so heavy that
we're going to go back and look at it one more time.
Watch the flow from the linebackers with Durham coming over there.
And nobody's with Taylor.
No, that really when Durham got going, they started selling out and
they had to respect that run. And there's Taylor wide open for the touchdown that puts LSU.
I scored
ahead.
on the same play against South Carolina in 2008.
Can we just run that play in Columbia, or can we run it other times too?
We can run it other
Okay.
times. Sometimes it gets messed up.
All right, this is no good. Coming up here, LSU's just taking the lead. They got a 5-point advantage about a minute into the fourth quarter, and this is a 3rd down and 1 from from South Carolina's 34-yard line, and this is Rocket Sanders.
This one's all on Whit Weeks.
Nobody ever touches Sanders.
I really don't know what Weeks is doing right there because
all right, let's go back.
If you go back from the side, we're in a slant. Relaford's really coming in. He's slanting inside. When you see Relaford slanting, if that play's called that way, Weeks is responsible to fill up and hold in contain. For some reason, and maybe because Whit Weeks has felt like he's had to make a play so many times, he pokes his head on the inside, really gets full. They're able to seal it off and break a big run. Weeks should be sitting right here and hitting the guy for no gain.
He did not, and they get a good block on Stamps on the outside, and Sanders is gone. 66 yards for the touchdown, and South Carolina goes right back on top.
This is my roller coaster of emotions at this point. We make a good play on offense, then we come back and blow a play.
Let's see. The 2-point conversion ended up with a illegal player downfield for South Carolina. There's a throw, there's a catch, but they had a lineman in the end zone. In fact, I think they might have had more than one lineman in the end zone.
Really got help on some of these calls, that would have been just a heartbreaker again.
Did you think that this was? I mean, we can go back and look at it again. Let's see where the linemen were, because I remember this one as being a good call.
Yeah, I think I threw my hat at this point until the flag came out.
All right, here's a 2-point. Let's see if we can keep them.
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah,
they're in the end zone.
They're in the end zone. The line of scrimmage is the 3. You're well into the end zone. Here's the throw. All right, let's see. Well, I don't know.
It's like they were falling back. Maybe they got back.
trying to sell it a little bit.
Back.
All right, so that comes off the board, and LSU holds them there. See the retry for 2 from the 8-yard line.
Good, nice little interception right here.
Ashford throws a pick, and LSU is going to get the ball back. All right, down a point now with 12.5 minutes to go. We're brought to you by Dependable Storage with 8 locations across Louisiana and 1 location in Gulfport, Mississippi. Newest facilities in Louisiana are in Slidell and Youngsville. They'll match any competitor's pricing, convenient online rentals and payments, free use of the moving truck for new rental move-ins, clean, secure, and conveniently located facilities. Check out the website at dependablestorage.com for locations, pricing, and rentals. Like Skip Burtman always says, you got to have somewhere to put all of your stuff. All right, so LSU's got to start this drive. This is a 3rd down and 9 now, and this was a very nice throw and catch to Kyron Lacey.
Yeah, they really got, he held there in the pocket, took a big hit.
But before you can talk about the good play, this is the bad play. This is the discerning signals again.
I didn't see it.
Is it really something you can see? Sometimes you got to hear it, right?
Yeah,
because what Nussmeier is saying is, I'm not expecting it. Somebody has clapped or done whatever, because otherwise Chester doesn't snap the ball, and clearly Nussmeier not asked.
I think I know why he snaps the ball. I mean, so you talk about the 2 that LSU got. We went to the film. I showed you where it happened. You saw the linebacker hitting his thigh pads, making a movement.
Yeah.
We didn't have film of the other one where Savion slides, throwing his arms up and down. Right here, you see Nussmeier wave his hand, talking. He's trying to motion, get somebody's attention. And you got a young center. I don't know if they're going on flash of the hands or first noise, but he yells at a receiver and motions them to come in. I think it just, between the hand waving and the sound, he triggered the center.
LSU does hold them 3 plays and out here. You see Ashford
huge
overthrow easily. They're going to get the field goal from 42 yards. They'll hit that and make it 33-29 with 10 minutes to go in the game.
It was a big step up for the defense.
LSU goes 3 and out here.
And this is where we talk about the complementary. The defense makes a great stand. You want to see the offense get some momentum going forward.
Can I go back to this 3rd down and 1? This is another one of these plays. 3rd down and 1. Set the formation for me, and this is a running play. You talked about they've only converted a couple of these this year.
Yeah, and it's another heavy set where you got enough hats in there that you should be able to get blocked on it. But we're just not doing well. We got the receiver in tight, bringing in an extra guy to there. We've seen it in multiple games.
You'd like to see this top receiver further
see
to the boundary.
See him out or see him run trips to the other side, but every time we bring a receiver in, we bring in more hats.
Let's see what kind of push they get. Not much of anything.
Here's the line of scrimmage, and all of our butts are sitting behind the line of scrimmage.
And now our butts are sitting in a punt formation because they go 3 and out. This is just under 10 minutes to go in the game. But South Carolina is not going to be able to move. This is another 3 and out. They go to 3rd and 11. They get the hit, the fumble recovery, and LSU set up in good shape here.
Swinson just was awesome on that play. He kept fighting, fought through another block, and gets his hands up late to knock the ball out.
They had more than one body in there too.
No, yeah, they were, and that's where I thought the ends played really well.
So LSU gets set up in good field position here. The penalty against South Carolina is declined. There you see Swinson again.
One of these we're going to pick
Burns
up and take to the house. We're so close.
Nussmeier throws the interception here.
That's just an ugly play. That was a poor decision with Nussmeier. I'm not sure what he's seeing.
This would have been a 100-yard pick six. We'll see if we get the And by the way, we've got some other film coming that we'll be able to show you this a little bit better. We're working with a regular highlight film this week.
Is one I think we really got lucky on because there's no ill intent on this block, I believe. He didn't lower his head. He didn't hit him with shoulder pads. He shoves him.
The idea, the intent behind the rule is that you don't go quarterback hunting.
Yeah.
That you're not trying to go injure a quarterback. He didn't hit him in the head. He didn't blindside block him. He didn't hit him low. He extended his hands. I think LSU got away with one. This is one of those plays that when you look at the end of the season, you say they won that game. If that play turns around, maybe they don't win.
Yeah,
that game.
I think the way that Nuss fell to the ground and he was kind of down longer than it looked sold it a little bit better.
Okay, this is an example, this third down of what I'm talking about, of how South Carolina had to completely change in the second half. You got a 4-point lead. It's 3rd down and 7, your own 13-yard line. If Sellers is in the game here, you can run a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
What they're going to run with Ashford, because they are not going to let him put the ball in harm's way, is they're going to just run a regular quarterback sweep. I don't want to call it a give-up call, but this is fairly easy to defend because there's no deception here.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of flow. You're not trying to get guys out of position. You're just saying, hey, look.
There's no threat to throw the football here.
No, and they try to sell out with a full run. I mean, they don't have confidence in him making a play with throwing it downfield right there.
So this ends up being the game-winning drive. They started from their own 45-yard line because they got him pinned back there.
Another great run by Durham. He just runs with a lot more power and strength than what people expected.
This play was originally ruled a catch here to Kyron Lacey deep down the far sideline. They would end up calling this back because he had a knee on the ground, and I thought this was the proper call.
Yeah.
He's kneeling way out of bounds. I think the back judge, the side judge here is maybe his vision was shielded a little bit. They took a look at it and took him out. But LSU's still going to be able to come back. This is a first down in the South Carolina territory, and Nussmeier with a beautiful throw and catch to Kyron Lacey. And they went back and looked at this one, originally ruled out.
Yeah, I don't know what they were looking at other than he doesn't get up with the ball, but he makes 2 steps. He's got full control.
Okay, right there when he steps out of bounds, that's to me when he has completed the catch. Now, he doesn't go all the way to the ground. That's an NFL thing. You step out of bounds, that's it, and he's got control. The play's over.
Yeah, you want to see him pull that ball in, keep it into the chest. That's he had full control, but you want to go ahead and tuck that ball. And this was well blocked.
The left side of the line getting some push, and Josh Williams punches it in, and they take the lead 36-33. All right. South Carolina's actually going to get the ball down the field. Now they have no choice but to let Ashford throw it.
This is where I start screaming. I mean, we've really struggled.
What the hell happened here on this play, which goes well in LSU territory?
Yeah, it's hard to see because we don't have the end zone view, but just in situational football, we've struggled. I mean, they got 80 yards to go right here. All they need is a field goal. And against USC, they did it twice. Against Nichols, we let it happen once. I mean, and here against another 2-minute drive situation, we let them make plays down the field.
Now, this is what Ashford does really well. He's got some explosion. They take it down, and they're right on the edge of field goal range at the 32-yard line here.
I just don't like seeing Ashford push our 3 defensive back or linebacker at DB. They're always falling forward. We're just not making that stop.
Now, again, if Sellers is in the game, maybe they're a little bit more aggressive here. 18 seconds ago, South Carolina's got a timeout, and all they're going to do here is give it on a simple handoff to Sanders, just basically to set the ball up, I guess, where the kicker wanted it, because this is I don't want to call it a give-up call because it's the Rocket.
It's on Ashford.
Yeah.
Go back and run that again. It looks like to me that was supposed to be an RPO. The guy in motion come to the outside. He turns looking for a pass, and man, I'm glad he missed it because he'd have ran for a ways.
I mean, this is no gimme field goal for a college kicker. We watching the NFL guys boom them from.
Yeah, if the motion guy is looking for a block right here, I'd say this was an all-out run. But watch when he gets to the outside. He whips his head around looking for the quarterback.
Yeah, he did. And he's got his hands out.
He's got his hands out like I'm getting the ball. It's run perfect because Weeks bit. I mean, it's that play design. When Weeks takes the tackle, you pull it and throw it. That's on Ashford.
Sellers probably. I hate to keep going back to that theme, but of all of the breaks LSU caught, the OPI, the personal foul on the pick six, Sellers not being in the game, these plays are there to be made. These play calls or
he didn't want to throw it, or maybe
they weren't going to let him.
Yeah.
If possible,
he might have been told, hand it off on the RPOs. Don't worry about it.
Best throw he made the whole second half was the one where Alexander, we don't have the copy, but where Alexander is right there with him and he completes the ball down the LSU 30 and they get the offensive pass interference, which I also thought was a bad call.
Yeah.
All right, here's the 49-yard field goal for the tie, and boy, off the foot, I thought he had it.
I thought it was good too.
And it just drifts over there to the left, and LSU escapes with the 36 to 33 win. All right, Rich, the aftermath of this. What do you think now?
No, I think that the team has a lot of fight in them. They didn't quit. There's a lot of things that, when you go back and look at the big runs and the big plays, it's a lot of correctable things. It's not a bad scheme. It's a guy getting in the wrong position. I feel a little bit more hopeful after watching it. And, winning like that on the road does a lot for your confidence and your camaraderie, is the way that they came together and battled back. So I think that, these Kelly teams, if you go back over the last couple of years, they've gotten better as the year went on. They've fixed a lot of things. They've seemed to continue to grow. This is a game that, they're going to use a lot to show guys what could have happened if we'd have all played sound technique. And I just feel like we could get better.
You know when I felt better? After I watched Kentucky play Georgia straight up.
No, yeah.
Because South Carolina went into Lexington and blew the doors off. Maybe South Carolina's a lot better than we gave them credit for.
No doubt.
So I felt a little bit better after that. There's a lot that they can fix.
Yeah, I mean, it's just those couple of big plays, again, that we talk about. We went back and watched the Nichols tape. There was 3 runs that with bad fits that made the offensive numbers look a lot worse. This is another game that you get 140 yards rushing off 2 bad techniques.
You don't feel like the offensive line played quite as bad as what it may have appeared on Saturday?
No, when I went back, I mean, I saw a couple bad pickups by the running backs that makes the offensive line look bad, where if they would have stayed in and got the right read, that there'd have been more time to throw the ball.
Okay. Next week we'll have some more film. LSU will play UCLA, 2:30 start at Tiger Stadium. Second meeting ever between the two schools. LSU getting their return trip from the Rose Bowl from a couple of seasons ago. We encourage you to subscribe to the Handycast. Hope you like the new format. We're still tweaking some things. Yeah. We're getting better at it.
We're going to be like the LSU football team.
We'll have
we're
a little bit.
Every week.
We'll have a little bit better film for you next week, and hope that you enjoyed. Thanks to Marucci.com to buy you apparel. Dana Brown and the law offices of O.C. Brown, plus Town Square Pizza, downtown pizza, square pizzas made from scratch, but they get you in and out in a hurry. Big, generous portions. If you've got just a limited amount of time for lunch, head on down to Town Square Pizza. Also to Lake Urgent Care and to Dependable Storage. Thanks to Paul O'Neill for producing for us today. For Richard Dickson, I'm Charles Hanagriff, and for Monday, September the 16th, it's been the Handycast.